Michael, today's a little different, right?
It is. It's kind of a very special episode.
Yeah. Do you remember Different Strokes? They had a very special episode.
The one where he got molested.
Yeah.
You know who didn't approve of that episode?
Arnold?
My mom.
Oh, your mom didn't like it.
She did not.
She heard it as introducing something villainous to your home.
I think that's a really good summation of how my mom felt about that episode of Different Strokes.
Well, I feel like, I know your mom pretty well. But today, a very special episode because my good friend, Sergeant Pete Peterson, right? I call him Sergeant Pete. We're good friends, but, I read the comments. And I know you say I shouldn't, but I read the comments sometimes. And by the way, some of you are pretty hurtful. There is a surge of people that are asking for real-time, stories to kind of know how to stay safe out there.
They want to protect themselves due to is there a rise in crime?
There is if you watch Fox News. I was talking to Sergeant Pete, and I said, Sergeant Pete, how do you stay safe? Like, how do you protect yourself? And he wants to come on and talk shop about policing and some new concepts and maybe where some of the hot spots are for crime.
Right, and we're really excited to have Sergeant Pete as our guest today.
I love Sergeant Pete. We met a long time ago at a victim services conference. I was speaking there, and he was speaking. Not at the same time, though. I don't do that. So, a funny thing, I met him on the bus on the way to the conference.
That's a great place to make a new friend is on a long bus trip.
That's what I say. Some people don't think so. They want, I get the shushes. I get the, sir, please, will you stop talking? And, I'm just trying to be friendly.
I think a lot of times your friendliness is mistaken for mental illness.
Yeah, that's right. That's about right.
So should we go ahead and, Dwayne, can we get Sergeant Pete on?
But what about our theme song?
Oh, yeah. Let's start the episode. I'm Michael.
Oh, and I'm Lil J.
Welcome to episode 181 of Tiny Crimes. In the booth, as always, Mr. Dwayne. 181 of Hot Spot Policing.
Oh, I like the way you said that. If it's okay with you, Dwayne, I'm going to introduce Sergeant Pete. Yeah. So, Sergeant Pete, can you hear me?
Yeah, Lil J, I can hear you.
Yeah, hi, Sergeant Pete. Good to see you.
Hey, so great to see you, too.
Good to see you. Thanks for joining us here on Tiny Crimes. That's our podcast I told you about, right? You've watched the show.
I have. It's fantastic. Really happy to be a guest. So, first of all, just to introduce myself, Sergeant Pete Peterson, here to discuss hotspot policing.
Oh, that's sexy.
What hotspot policing is as police forces these days, we really have a limited number of resources. And what we like to do is just focus those resources on high crime areas.
Yeah, so you had mentioned that a hotspot for crime right now in the last few months was at the Roosevelt Field Mall.
Unfortunately, we've just had a spate of crimes over the last 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big mall, right?
It's one of the biggest malls in the state.
Is that a Simon Mall?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was Simon or if it was Tanger's, right? Because they're both kind of big, heavy hitters in the mall industry. I hear they have so many stores, right? I know they have a JCP, right?
There is a JCPenney's.
Yeah, that particular JCP, they have a JCP salon.
I'm not fully aware of all the stores
on the property.
Yeah.
I do know we had just focused on the area.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, they have a JCP salon. They have a JCP portraits. And, you can get like a family portrait or you can just get a solo shot, So if I went there, I would maybe buy an outfit, get some Hager clothing, something like that. Or maybe Mutual Weave. That's a great brand that they carry at JCP. And then, you could get an outfit, a haircut, a beard trim, and then get your photo taken. That is full service shopping. Sergeant Pete, let me ask you then, what are you guys doing in your hotspot policing to help with the Roosevelt Field Mall? Because we want to make sure that mall shopping experience is a safe one.
Well, while it's just one example of a hotspot, what we do for all...
They have a store named Nuts, don't they?
I'm not sure of the actual...
I don't know if they sell nuts or what they sell.
So what we're trying to
It's
do...
right next to Love Sack. That's a furniture store.
I believe it is.
Yeah, Nuts and Love Sack. Kind of the same thing, right?
What hotspot policing is, again, is focusing resources...
Yeah, you keep saying that word resources.
...into a smaller area to reduce crimes.
So there is a restaurant there called Kung Fu Kitchen. Can you tell me a little bit about the hotspot policing take on Kung Fu Kitchen?
There isn't a specific issue there. We haven't had any crimes reported.
Well, of course you haven't, because it's Kung Fu Kitchen, right? So you'd be stupid if you're a criminal to come in there and try to steal anything like fries or chips or whatever. I love salsa. But they're all ready to Chuck Norris you out the door.
I believe it's just an Asian-themed restaurant.
Yeah. Have you been to Build-A-Bear?
With my daughter.
No, it's no shame. I go to Build-A-Bear whenever I can, because I'll tell you what, you're basically building a best friend for life. Just going to the mall and knowing you can leave with 3 or 4 best friends for life, including a little birth certificate, that's amazing.
We have Sergeant Pete muted right now. I feel like maybe, and I'm going to tread lightly here.
This is about Build-A-Bear?
No, it's not.
I know it's pricey.
I think Sergeant Pete's getting a little frustrated.
Sergeant Pete, are you frustrated?
Lil J, he can't hear us.
He can't hear us.
No, and
he might be frustrated then because he can't hear us.
We muted him on purpose because I feel like you're not letting him talk very much. He came on to talk about a specific subject, and
yeah, he's talking about hotspots.
And you keep talking over
it's
him
like skin cancer
and really focusing on the mall and the stores in the mall.
Well, he said it was a hotspot.
But that's just it. Just happens.
Roosevelt Field Mall. It's a hotspot. That's what he said. He said, Dwayne, can you rewind it? I think he said, he said it in his little Sergeant Pete voice. Roosevelt Field is a hotspot. That's what he said.
I think maybe if you could focus a little on letting Sergeant Pete talk a little more.
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
just give him a little space.
Well, if you would unmute him, that would probably help.
And we can bring him back. Are you ready to?
Yeah, I've been ready.
And kind of maybe.
I mean, I feel like maybe you're saying I don't do things right or something.
No, that's not.
Maybe you're kind of saying I shouldn't be on the show. I read the comments.
People are unnecessarily cruel on the internet.
I don't know what they are, but it doesn't feel good. That's for sure. And it's not just the internet. The mail is rough too. I didn't even know feces could fit in an envelope. Tell you what, though, I've learned to use my sniffer first now. If it's kind of browning on the edges, that's a sign not to open that up.
Hello?
Hey, Sergeant Pete. Sorry they muted you. I think they were afraid that you were getting upset.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I told him we were friends. I was like, no, he knows me.
The bus ride we shared, I consider pivotal.
Oh, yeah, me too. It was a life changer.
It was a delightful 17 hours.
Yeah, it was long, I'll tell you that. And that bathroom backing up did not help things. Your policing was needed on that bus. Single file line, please. You were great. You organized everybody. It was leadership.
A lot of times on a long bus ride, you're dealing with people who just haven't been in a confined space with other people for that length of time. Tempers flare.
Yeah, there were some tempers flaring, I'll tell you what. And you handled it. I feel bad for that one guy who got wrestled to the ground. I don't think he saw that coming.
Well, I'm here to serve and protect.
Yeah, and you did protect. I got to, at a certain point, you let him up. You said, hey, let's start over, buddy. I'll tell you what, that's when I really gained respect for you as a man, not just a friend. Like, you were already my best friend around hour 2. But by, I think that was hour 6 or 7, right, when that guy went off. I was like, this guy knows what he's doing. He's a protector and a server.
Appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. So you're at the mall now. You must kind of black out like I do at a mall, right? So you're out there arresting people and you can't remember details. I wonder how much of that is influenced just by the mall, right? When I'm at a mall, I black out a little bit too. I'm at one store and all of a sudden I'm over at a Macy's. I'm like, how'd I get at Macy's? I swear it was at H&M. Michael, you okay?
I'm fine. I feel like
they have a Hallmark store at the Roosevelt Field Mall. And when I think of Hallmark now, this is kind of a sign of success for them. is no longer do I think about little charms, although those are delightful, right? Maybe have a bracelet with a little charm for your, like, birthstone, stuff like that.
You think about the movies.
I think about their television programming,
I thought
right?
you
The
would.
Hallmark movies, and specifically, I'm going to say it because it's my birthday, their Christmas movies are adorable. They love love, and I love love, and I love people that love love. Say that back to me.
They love love, I love love, and I love people that love love.
Good. Dwayne, you want to say it? Yeah, you got it.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah.
I told Sergeant Pete that we were going to take a little break.
Oh, did he get called away to a crime? Wouldn't that be funny if we were talking and all of a sudden he got called to a hot spot and had to go and bust something up? Maybe he would use his body cam. Don't you love the term body cam?
I do. I like that.
I wish I had a body cam.
You could probably just get like a GoPro and strap it to yourself.
Yeah, I guess that's a good idea. I don't know what a GoPro is, but it sounds cool. GoPro. Pogo.
What do you think it would show if we strapped a camera to you and just let it run all day?
Probably just my knees and a thing of toilet paper. That might be at least for 2 or 3 hours. But then after that, you might show me eating.
Did you say 2 or 3 hours?
Yeah, well, sometimes I'm just not good with my fiber intake, Michael. So I'm working on it with a physician. We got a plan. We got a health roadmap is what they call it. Yeah, so Sergeant Pete's off now. Is he gone or are we bringing him back?
We can bring him back at the end, baby.
Yeah.
To have him sum up what hotspot policing's about.
Yeah, well, I could probably sum it up right now. Hotspot policing is when you take the resources that you have, which evidently is a very small amount, and you throw them all in one spot where the crime is really ballooning.
Correct.
Yeah, and that happens to be mainly at malls. Yeah, so I don't know if we even, I'd love to have Sergeant Pete back on, but I think I summarized it pretty good. The Roosevelt Field Mall, evidently the most crime ever. And I don't want to say stay away because the risk-reward benefit, it still leans heavily reward with all those stores. Yeah, so do we need to say anything to Sergeant Pete? I felt like I didn't get to say goodbye.
Dwayne, do we still have him? Can you get him back on?
Sergeant Pete?
Lil J!
Yeah. Hey, thanks for joining us. I'm sorry we keep muting you or whatever's going on. We're having problems with the technical side of things. You know how that is.
Well, thank you so much for having
Yeah.
me, and I understand.
We got to wrap it up, though. Yeah.
Well, okay then. I'm Sergeant Pete Peterson, serving beautiful Great Neck, New York. Super glad to be able to talk to you guys about hotspot policing, educate a little about it, and just share that information.
Hey, Sergeant Pete, thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Thanks for keeping us safe. And just know that you got a buddy right here anytime you need it.
Thanks again for having me. We'll talk to you real soon.
You're
Lil
great. I'll
J.
see you at the next victim service meeting.
Okay, great.
Okay, all right, good deal.
Thank you.
Crime Stoppers.
If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to like and subscribe.
Even if you didn't enjoy it, we'd be okay if you like and subscribed it.
Just like and subscribe.
Yeah, just do that.